And welcome to Sasquatch Says. Unfortunately, I am just here by myself, your host, Dan Wetstein. Unfortunately, Callie is not here. I am assuming she is on a call. I haven't gotten anything from her today. So we will just make the assumption that she is busy because that is always what happens. Unfortunately, the EMS gods are not shining on us today, but we will still talk hockey. It's just you only get me instead of her as well. So let's go ahead and jump in here with the Colorado Avalanche. Big news before game 4. Makar wins the Norris Trophy. He ends up winning it over Josie. Me and Callie had went back and forth about 2 months ago, um, talking about who we believed should win it, whether it be Makar or Josie. Callie kind of went the nostalgia route, kind of give Josie his last hurrah. There's no way he's going to win it again. Well, there's no way he's going to win it again because every year Makar is going to be the Norris Trophy winner. He is the best defenseman in the game. It's not close. It's not even fair when it comes to trying to decide who should be the Norris Trophy winner. Other than Makar, there is no other competition at this point. This postseason has proven it. He earned this trophy. So Josie doesn't get his participation trophy. Makar gets his trophy. The thing is that this is, again, the only award that an Av was a finalist for, let alone won. So we're going to talk about who got snubbed on this roster. Kadri should have been in talks for MVP. His name left me. Josh Manson should have been in a finalist for the best defensive forward. I know he plays a lot of defense, the defenseman position, but he also plays forward and is the best defender at the forward position, as well as one of the better scorers as a defenseman. So he's one of those tweeners that this roster is littered with, has really helped out, especially at this point with so many injuries. Them being able to mix and match the lineups are the reason why. Plus the depth that we have talked about ad nauseum here on Sasquatch says the fact that all of those things have come together in the Stanley Cup playoffs has been wonderful to watch. Watching the depth, watching how many of these guys got snubbed. I mean, Gabriel Landeskog should have been in the talks for some awards. I mean, the list goes on with these guys. Definitely no goaltender award should have been awarded. Those are a few of the guys that did not get snubbed at all. Kuemper nor Frankie did anything to be mentioned in the breath of the Vasilevskis and men of that nature in this league. They are good. They have proven they are good enough throughout this entire playoffs. So no complaint here. I'm not saying that the Avs' biggest offseason priority is going to be getting a goaltender. They don't need a goaltender. They got two guys that do the job good enough. This is a team that, again, doesn't need a Vasilevsky. Tampa Bay Lightning do not make it to the Stanley Cup Finals without Vasilevsky. That's just plain and simple. They do not have enough. They have a very, very good team, but they are nowhere near the level of the Avalanche because they need their goalie to be great on many a nights. The Avalanche do not. We have seen 2 games this series where the Avalanche goalie was not the better goalie, but because the Avalanche were such a better team, they won both overtime games. Vasilevsky did everything he could to give the Tampa Bay Lightning a win. And it was just never good enough. Outside of game 3, that was just an aberration, a lot like the 2 losses to St. Louis. They were really more of the Avs losing the game than it was the Tampa Bay Lightning winning the game. And we're going to talk about that right now. As the Avs lost game 3, 6-2, Kuemper had an off game and was pulled in the middle of the game. My question is, was it prudent or reactionary? To me, it was prudent. I mean, we all saw what that did to Kuemper in game 4. We won't go too far into that because we're going to talk about that for the majority of the episode. But Kuemper being pulled allowed him to get out of his head, see what's going on on the ice, and make adjustments for game 4, which is exactly what he did. So even though Frankie came in, kind of stopped the bleeding outside of that one fluky little goal that he gave up that really shouldn't have been a goal. Frankie should have got that, and he'd probably be the first one to tell you that. It's not dogging on the man. It just is what it is. But it was an avalanche on the Avalanche, and he did his best to stem the tide. And he did a very good job, and it allowed Kuemper to see what he was doing wrong. Go back, look at the tape. Okay, this is what I was doing wrong. This is what Frankie did right. This is what I was doing right. Now let me put it all together, which he did in game 4, and come out with a stalwart performance. So as much as people want to consternate about whether or not Bednar was just too quick with the hook, no, Kuemper was done in game 3. When he pulled Kuemper was done. He was not going to be able to stop anything. It would have been like 10-2 or 12-2 had they left Kuemper in there instead of a 6-2 final score. So it was very prudent by Bednar. As he has shown, he always seems to know when to flip the switch on or off at the exact right time with every move that he makes. So quit questioning Bednar. The man has you a win away from the Stanley Cup. Let the man enjoy the fruits of his labor. He has earned this. Do not disrespect the man. So next off was the captain, Gabriel Landeskog, scored both goals for the Avalanche. Why did his supporting cast disappear? Because Tampa Bay is a good team. You can't sweep every series. The Avs have done their damnedest. They've only lost 3 games this entire playoffs. But I'm really sick of seeing every time they have a bump in the road that these fair weather fans freak out like it's the end of the world. It's like I have to keep telling my poor nephew the series is not over. He thought it was over last night. I was like, no, buddy, I'm sorry. We lost a game. But again, that's the beauty of a 7-game series. You can lose a game and not lose the series. This isn't the NFL. It's not one and done. This isn't March Madness where it's one and done. You can lose a game and it's okay. You can lose 3 games. People, they've lost 3 games all playoffs, and you're allowed to lose up to 3 games every series and still win. Y'all are freaking out about these guys losing the amount of games that you're allowed to lose in a series and still win. And they've lost it in the entire playoffs. They swept 2 out of 4 series, and they have a chance to knock the 4th series out in just 5 games on Saturday. So let's calm down. Things happen, bad games happen. And this is what I have been screaming at y'all. If you see a game where only one guy is dominating, as in this case, Gabriel Landeskog was the one dominating, the Avs usually lose. Outside of the Kadri hat trick, which again, they had ended up with 7 goals by 5 different dudes on that night. So it wasn't just Kadri. Then you see it on the hat trick by McKinnon, where there's only 4 goals scored and they lose because only him and one other person was actually contributing. This is a team sport, really a lot more than most. You cannot have one guy or 2 guys ball out and win consistently. To win in this league consistently, to win championships, your 3rd and 4th line have to score, which is exactly what happened in game 4, happened in game 1, 2, and every other win the Avalanche have had, both in the regular season and the postseason. When the Avs are dominant, the 3rd and 4th line are scoring, and they end up with a score of like 7 goals by 6 guys, 5 goals by 5 guys, 6 goals by 4 guys. It is in their wins. You can go back, you can check my math. I have went back months and months into the regular season from now on back, and just looking to see if am I just seeing things? Is this anecdotal evidence? But no, almost every single big dominating win that the Avalanche win by multiple goals, it's with multiple scorers. So if you're seeing that only McKinnon or only Landeskog or maybe both of them are the ones dominating in a game, more than likely the Avalanche are going to lose. It's not a guarantee. It's not, it's not 100% foolproof, but a majority of the time when the Avalanche are successful, it's because they get scoring from multiple outlets. Like I said, the Josh Mansons, the Devon Taves, Sam Girards, etc. When they are scoring, Burakovsky, blah 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 blah. Go down the line. When they are scoring, the Avalanche will dominate every single time. Every single time. It's almost without fail. So that is why you have off days. Why did his, supporting cast disappear? You can't win them all. Plain and simple. It's just, I know that every fan wants every series to end in a sweep, but it just doesn't happen. It doesn't. I honestly cannot tell you off the top of my head the last time anybody swept through any sport that has a 7-game series. I mean, I think maybe the 07 Rockies. Yes, the 07 Rockies. That was the last team I can remember off the top of my head. The Rocktober team, where they swept all the way through to the World Series and then got swept. So again, sounds nice, but I'm gonna have to go back, and this has me thinking, like, how many times has a team swept through a playoffs that has a best of 7 series as the majority of their series? So I'm going to look up that and I'm going to find it for y'all. And I guarantee the number is extremely small. Because again, the Rockies are one that swept their way to the championship and then got swept out of the championship. So as far as how many have actually went all the way through and swept through the championship, that's a really good question. I'm going to have to find it out for y'all. And I'm going to get y'all the answer on Twitter right down at the bottom at _the_answers42. Also, I am a one-man band here, guys. So I may not always have the chat in my face when I'm talking to you. I don't always have that in my face. I got to swap through windows and things of that nature. I don't want to go into the nitty gritty of the nuts and bolts of how this works on this end. I just want to let you know, if you leave a comment, please stick around. I will find it and I will answer it. Don't get annoyed with me or impatient and think that I'm ignoring you. I'm not. I want to be clear. If you leave a comment, I'm a one-man band. It may not be in my face. I may not get to it immediately, but I always check throughout the live. So that way, if there is interaction, I can interact with you. So don't give me the question, get annoyed that I haven't answered it, and leave. I am here to answer your questions, and I'm happy to, but you got to be patient with me because I am the only one here. So I may not see it immediately, but I will get to it before the end of the live. So if you leave a comment or anything, make sure you stick around, especially if you ask a question. I will answer it before the end of the live, but I am a one-man band, and I will just get to it as soon as I possibly can. And also make sure you go down to the bottom in the description, all the links to all the socials. Click on them, follow, like, subscribe, hit the bell icon so you get notified every time we do one of these lives. Or on Twitter, you can even set it up every time I tweet, so that way you know when I'm being active and what I'm being active about, because I am the most active on Twitter, because again, it is by far the largest following I have. We officially hit 2,000 Twitter followers today. So all of you here in the Tay 42 family, you are absolutely wonderful. I love you. I appreciate it. Make sure you hit the like when you come in. And with that out of the way, let's move on to game 4, where the Avs won 3-2 in overtime. All of the magic, all of the storylines. I mean, this game was absolutely epic. That's why we're going to spend most of our time today talking about it. First up, we have Kuemper returning to the net with authority, and what changed from game 3 to game 4. Kuemper ended up with a point. I'm sorry, guys, bear with me. Sorry, I got something in my throat. I had to clear it out for y'all. Apologize for that. But anyways, we're back here. But Kuemper back in goal with authority. The man had a .945 save percentage. The man went from having one of the worst save percentages in his career, which was less than 75% in game 3 before he was pulled, and turned around and had one of the best games of his postseason career, and maybe even career in general, especially when you consider the situation revolving around the game. That if Tampa wins this game, I am worried. If Tampa wins this game, I am thinking that they are back in it, and the Avs are pulling a 2021 all over again, where they win the first 2 games of a series and then lose everyone after it. That loss would have terrified me. But instead, we got a true character building, come from behind win against one of the best teams in the NHL, not only today, but possibly in the history of the game. So that should tell you where this would put this Avalanche squad, should they complete this run to the Cup, and bringing it back to Denver with them as they come back on Saturday. So Kuemper gave everything that he had. He ended up saving sorry, I had it right here in front of me and now it just disappeared. He ended up saving this is the wrong game. I apologize. Come on. If my stuff will cooperate here. There we go. Now it's loaded. He ended up, this is actually the first win of the postseason that Kuemper has faced more than 31 shots. He ended up facing 39 shots on goal, saved 37 of them. That's the highest number of saves he's had since the middle of the season in a win, for a .949 save percentage. You had out of the 3 goals, they were scored by 3 different guys. 2 of them were absolutely insane. The one for Nathan MacKinnon was pure luck. It was just pure luck. The shot was made, I can't remember exactly off the top of my head who made the shot, but one of the defensemen made a shot from the right circle, the top of the right circle, and it went in as MacKinnon was being hit and spun around. Well, as he was spinning, the puck bounces off the defenseman, Vasilevsky, and then McKinnon's skate, and then slides in behind Vasilevsky's skate. One of the craziest goals, but it's something I've talked about. It's something me and my brother-in-law Bo actually talked about during game 2 when the Avalanche were absolutely blowing out the Tampa Bay Lightning because he's from Florida. Tampa Bay's his team, so it's kind of nice to, have that little bit of a leg up. I was kind of worried about having him in my house with the Lightning winning a third one in a row. So let's Avalanche, please give me that reprieve. Do not allow them to get a third championship in a row. I don't want to deal with that insufferableness. But the fact that they were able to bounce back in the only two players on this Avalanche squad to have ever been in a finals, let alone win one, are Darren Helm and Andre Burakovsky. Those are the only two players. Both won Stanley Cups with their previous teams. And so the fact that these guys have not been here, have not done this ever, and were able to come back and snatch victory from the jaws of defeat against a team that has won the last two championships is another reason why I really think that torch is about to be passed. So, the second goal was another crazy one that it ended up getting bounced off of like 4 guys and then shot again and knocked off the leg of Nico Sturm, excuse me, and then bounced in past Vasilevsky again. Very similar to McKinnon. There were just about 2 extra caroms from McKinnon's first goal of the finals. So, yes, did the Avalanche get a little lucky? Of course. Nobody wins a championship without luck. There's a reason that there's a saying that it's better to be lucky than good. Because sometimes the luck is all you have. That being good is not enough. That the other team is possibly just as good as you. So you need those lucky bounces. You need the puck to make that funny bounce and get in. Like everybody saw it in game 3 with the puck bouncing the Lightning way and that crazy slow motion goal against Kuemper. Like it happens both ways. It's not like it's, luck is not a fickle thing that just kind of goes to one side, not the other. It's pretty evenly distributed and equal opportunity when it comes to luck. It's all about preparation. If you are prepared, luck seems to find you because you're always in the right place. You're in the right position to take advantage of that luck. And the Avalanche were in this case for their first 2 goals. Were they lucky to tie it? Yeah, you could say that. But again, I'd rather be lucky than good. I stand by that statement. It's not just a cliche, it's fact. It is what it is. It's cliche for a reason. So give me all the luck you got. I'll take it. I don't care. And then you add it in with the talent that was shown in overtime. That luck tends to lead itself to success when you have the talent and work ethic of the Colorado Avalanche. And that's exactly what we saw in overtime with Kadri making an unbelievable solo effort to the net and somehow squeaking the puck past Vasilevsky right under his armpit and depositing it right in the back of the net and it just sat there. And it was insane because the way it happened in real time, there was no whistle, there was no horn. Nobody knew what was going on except for Kadri and the Avalanche. The Avalanche are going nuts, and I'm sitting in my house screaming about, is it in? Is it not? Is it in? I don't know how to react right now. Did we win? Did we not? For like 5 minutes before finally the announcers verified it's a good goal, it's been counted, and the game's over. The Avalanche were celebrating for almost 10 minutes before anybody else knew what was going on besides them. It was the weirdest end to a game I've seen in a long time. I've never seen a sudden death game end like that and be so anticlimactic because nobody knew what was going on. I mean, the ref was right there. He's looking at the puck sitting between the top post and the net inside the goal and still not making any gestures, no whistles, nothing to let anybody know what is going on. And so I spent 5 minutes screaming into the ether that I didn't know how to react, but I'm going to scream and scream until I know how to react. And then finally they said the goal was good and I lost my mind. Just like in game one, it was an absolutely beautiful game. I can say that honestly, this one scared me less than game one. After they got the second goal, I wasn't worried. Once they tied it up in the third period, 2-2, I was like, "We're the Avs are winning this." Even going through that long overtime where they almost wasted the entire period before Kadri just finally said, "You know what? My thumb hurts. I'm done. Let's end this." And again, Kadri played this game with a cast on his hand. So when Bednar during period two. Yeah, it was period two when they had a sideline report, and she was able to ask Bednar a question. She asked him, "What were the limitations of Kadri?" He had a simple one-word response: "None." And then he followed up with, "He is 100% go." That goal in overtime proved he was not lying. That he was not trying to just do coach speak and not give the other team more information than what they need. He was being honest. Kadri was 100%. And if that's the case, that's insane. The man completely discombobulated his thumb and had to have surgery just 18 days ago. Well, 19 now, because we're on the next day after. But 19 days and 18 days and only 17 days of rehab before starting a game. Starting a game. He didn't come off the bench. Did he play the full amount of minutes that he usually does? No. But who would with a broken thumb and a cast underneath a glove? Like, it's insane to think that he was even able to grab a stick, let alone be able to handle it the way he did in that overtime to score that goal. Like, if he's not in pain, I will be surprised. But that had to hurt like hell that entire way down the ice. 100% or not, there's no way. I cannot believe that he's 100% healthy. Maybe 80 to 90% good enough to get on the ice and be a hockey player. Yes, definitely he proved that. But you cannot convince me that that did not hurt. I'm sure it hurt real good after that puck went in, but that had to hurt, and the weight and just the toughness factor that it takes to get through that is absolutely epic. And Kadri deserves every bit of praise he's got in this game. Not to only come back in that time frame, but to win the game winner, sudden death overtime, solo effort, like everything, all the stars align. It has been an absolutely magical season for Kadri, and it's just continuing in the playoffs. And I cannot wait to see what he's able to do on Saturday with 3 more days of rest. I feel sorry for Tampa Bay. So, let's go ahead and push it through. So, Game 5 is Saturday in Ball Arena. First up, game preview. The Avalanche have dominated in every aspect in every game outside of game 3, as we all know. And it hasn't even really been close outside of, like a period and a half in game 3 where they just really kind of looked a lot like they did in game 2 before they finally found their swagger about halfway through the third period and remembered that they are the best team in the league, not Tampa. So, since then, and the fact that they were able to re-click when it mattered most, Saturday could be a long day for Tampa because McKinnon, Landeskog, Kadri, these guys want it more. They just want it more. They've never been there. They've never done that. There's only 2 guys, like I just said, on the roster with a ring or even made it, let alone won it. This team wants it. The Lightning, they're like, man, we've done this. We've been there. We got our 2 rings back to back. Some of us got 3. Like, let them have it. Like, that's really how it's kind of looked outside of that game 3 where they just dominated. It's been like, They just kind of like had a lackadaisical attitude, and it's cost them. It's cost them a lot. I think they came in here with big draws and are realizing way too late that they're not the ones with the biggest draws. They're not the ones with the biggest stick. The Avalanche are, and they are swinging it in every direction. Lightning better duck. Period. So, with that being said, not going to give my predictions yet, but if the Avs win, who wins the Conn Smythe? That's a very good question, in my estimation. And to me, the guy that has done the most overall, oh, sorry, trying to get my stuff in front of me so when I talk about him, I can tell you why. Okay. And this is going to be my guy. It's going to be Landeskog. Number one, leads the team in goals, leads the teams in points, leads the team in hits, leads the team in plus minus, leads the team in every relevant category in the finals. As much as I would love to give it to McKinnon, he just has not produced. And I would love to give it to Kadri after what he did in game 3. Now, if he comes out and he throws out a hat trick in game 4, we might revisit it. And I might be, I might be like, okay, yeah, Kadri came in, changed the whole series again, made the difference. He's the Conn Smythe. But to me, right now, as it stands, outside of an otherworldly performance, Landeskog has been the most consistent and most dominant player on the ice for the entire finals. So if it's going to go to anybody, it needs to go to Landeskog. Period. There's really no argument here. Like I said, I just broke down how he leads in just about every major category outside of block shots, which again, do you really want Landeskog blocking shots? We've seen how many people have been hurt by block shots, especially by the Tampa Bay Lightning, as they have had all their guys blocking shots because it's the only way they're going to be stopping the Colorado Avalanche. So, with all that being said, my prediction is the series is over. After that crushing loss for the Lightning and invigorating win for the Avalanche in game 4, I just don't see how Tampa has enough momentum to actually come back and make a series of this. I know Callie's been preaching 6 to 7 games. Don't count your chickens before they're hatched. Well, they've hatched. It's over. The Avalanche are going to win Saturday, and they're going to win decisively, just like they did in game 2 after a close win in game 1 that went to overtime. It invigorated the Avalanche, and in the very next game at home, they dominated. Well, guess what? They just got another exhilarating win in overtime from their guy that they've been missing for 2 weeks. And now they get 3 days to rest before coming back home. And Tampa Bay having to deal with that altitude that they are not used to and cannot get used to. It's over. Plain and simple. The Avalanche will win Saturday night, and it will be a blowout 7-1. That is my final prediction for Saturday. So let me double check everything. Make sure I didn't miss anybody. Nope. We are good. So, as always, make sure that you go down to the bottom in the description, click on all the links, subscribe to all the channels, hit the bell notifications so that way you know every time we go live, every time we tweet, etc. Again, 2,000 followers on Twitter. Y'all in the Tay42 family, you're amazing. We love you. We appreciate you. Keep growing that number. Get us some sponsorships, get us some money, and we'll get you even more content. Make sure you share, like, all of those good things. They are free for you, but they are priceless for us. Launch all of the nukes, clear all of the paths, and let us blaze a new trail in the new media industry and give you the content you deserve with the spin and the information that you need to make great decisions as you move forward, not just what might help your pocketbook at the betting table. So make sure you show some love to the Tay42 family. Get us some, like I said, get us some exposure, not content. I give you the content. You give us the exposure. We appreciate it. We love y'all. Make sure you share, let your friends and family know. Anybody that's looking for any type of sports content in the Denver area, we are here to provide. So we love you. We appreciate you. As always, for the Answers 42 Media Network, I'm Dan Wetstein. Don't question the blue.